Surprisingly beaten in the Ulster final. Declan Walsh replaces Carl Lacey at centre half back, while Neil Gallagher comes into midfield. Ryan Bradley moves to wing forward in place of the injured Mark McHugh, while Ryan McHugh and David Walsh are also selected on the 40. Justin McNulty makes one change to the Laois team that beat Wexford last Saturday evening, with Donny Kingston starting in place of David Conway. Teenager Evan O'Carroll, who replaced Kingston before the throw-in last week, retains his place, while the evergreen Pádraig Clancy partners team captain John O'Loughlin at midfield. Some heavy rain has fallen in the last hour, which should make conditions underfoot a little bit slippy. Chance now here for Mark Timmins, and that one a little bit overhit, but it might work out. And here's the fullback again. Oh, and Mark Timmins had a great chance there for Laois. Well, you don't get many goal chances against Donegal. That was a good one for Timmins. Maybe he should have done better. So many players bunched inside the 45-metre line. That's good play though from McGlynn. Chance here. McGee going forward. Donegal desperately tried to work something through. Walsh turns on his left-hand side, and that one has gone over the bar. And that's the first point from play. It took a long time, but David Walsh has it. Ryan Bradley comes forward. Back to Neil Gallagher. Nicely played. Declan Walsh to Michael Murphy. Murphy with the effort, and that's a fantastic point from the Donegal captain. Well, they needed something from somewhere. Their captain decided to step up to the plate. Donegal lead by 3 points to 1. And well, there's a bit of argy-bargy there. Rory Gallagher and Fergal Byron were having a bit of a set too, it seemed. Bit of pace shown here now from Begley, but then loses possession just as there was a shooting chance. Maybe should have had the confidence to go for a score, but lost in midfield. But the foul was committed by Begley, quickly taken free. Now then, what can McBrearty do? Taking on his man, good pace from McBrearty, and that's a wonderful point from Paddy McBrearty. A lot of the Donegal players were expected to step up to the plate today. McBrearty doing very well. Chance here for McGlynn, and Frank McGlynn loses possession. Laois again come forward, but no player inside the 45-metre line for Laois. They'll have to do it the hard way. Need to get men up in attack. Munnelly, there was a brilliant run on this side of the pitch from Pádraig McMahon. Munnelly didn't spot him, but it didn't matter because the ball has gone over the bar. But for half a second there was probably a goal chance there. But Laois would be happy with the point. Great defensive play though from Donegal, and a wonderful pick-up from Anthony Thompson. Him and McGee doing the donkey work beforehand for Donegal. Now a long ball across the pitch towards McFadden. McFadden takes, and Colm McFadden scores his first point from play, and it was a peach, but all the hard work was done by McGee and Thompson beforehand. Last chance saloon for both sides. A big carrot in place in the All-Ireland quarter-final. Long range effort. That one has gone over the bar, and it's Donny Kingston's second point of the match. And it was a score Laois badly needed. As Kieran Lillis comes forward for Laois. They could get another score now and leave 3 between them. Here's Conway, and that's a beautiful point from the substitute David Conway, and there is only 3 points in it, and this game isn't over yet. Rory Kavanagh been giving an awful lot of time. Gets it inside to McBrearty. Does Donegal try and work a shooting chance? It's McFadden. And the ball has gone over the bar. Well, it looked like there was nothing on, but Colm McFadden made sure there was a chance, and he took his chance. And the gap is 3 again. Laois need a goal, but they've lost possession. One back. As Donegal try to finish with a flourish here. McBrearty trying to create a shooting angle, and McBrearty has put the ball over the bar, and that's a brilliant score from the Kilcar man, and the gap is now 4 points. And Donegal will know they've been in a match. Neil McGee loves to get forward, and then from Vidod. Still Neil McGee. This is a great run, and Neil McGee kicks over a fantastic point. And now the gap is 5. The job is done. Jim McGuinness will be happy. Donegal are through to the quarter-final. Well, Donegal player is down, and that's Rory Kavanagh, and a red card has been given to Conor Meredith, a straight red. Marty Duffy was in very quickly, and that's just frustration really from Conor Meredith. And they come forward looking for more. Acres of space here for McLeod, and that ball has gone over the bar now, and in the last few minutes everything Donegal have touched has turned to gold, and Liam McLeod adds his name to the score sheet. And there it is, the final whistle has been blown here in Páirc Victiarmada in Carrick-on-Shannon, and Jim McGuinness's team are through to the All-Ireland quarter-final. Final score, Donegal 14 points, Laois 8 points.
There's 22,000 Donegal people there last week. Huge support today again, and the players wanted to respond, and you know, the numbers that they came out in today was I suppose testimony to the work that the lads have done over the last 2 years, so that was great, and it was great to repay them with a good performance and get over the line. And obviously we're back where we would have been if we had won last week, minus the cup.
We created enough opportunities to cause them serious damage in the first half. A gilt-edged goal chance. When we miss those chances, it's a dent in the team's confidence, and then give them the sort of spring of the momentum to go then and take their chances, which they did much better than us today.
All right. Well, Dermot, lots of people question would Donegal be able to turn around after 6 days. They did.
Yeah, they did, and actually they're only the 3rd team in the qualifier history to actually do that. So that in itself is a huge achievement. And as Jim McGuinness mentioned there as well, they're back to where they would have been minus the cup. And at that stage, I think, once you get over in the qualifiers, a hard defeat like a provincial final, one more defeat in the qualifiers, you're back into the quarter-final. Okay, the hurt of the Ulster Championship is gone. They're now concentrating on the All-Ireland Championship, and they are as defending champions. So mentally, this was a massive game, but mentally they passed the test.
Okay. Now they're up against Mayo, repeated the All-Ireland final. Great game to look forward to. You still see room for improvement though for next week?
Yeah, I think they have to improve, Des. Now you have to put it into context that Laois parked the bus in front of Donegal last night, and again, similar to what Down have done, similar to what Monaghan have done, they had 14, 15 men behind the ball. They made it very, very difficult for Donegal to break them down, but some of their hand passing was loose, their kick passing was loose, and I suppose that's natural after coming off a heavy defeat, dropping balls short into the keeper's hands. Sometimes when they looked up, they lacked space. They pulled Michael Murphy out the field to get him more into the game, but their big leaders came through in the end. It was Paddy McBrearty, the Colm McFaddens, Neil McGee came forward for a great score. I think they're limping along. I think without Mark McHugh, without Carl Lacey, they're struggling for a bit of strength and depth. I think they've further improvement based on that performance last night. They've a massive game coming in against Mayo next week. if Mayo learned the lessons from last year's All-Ireland final and they've analysed Donegal over the last few weeks, will they be able to adapt? There was a point that Dermot was making off camera. Will they be able to adapt? They got through last night's game. It was a difficult mental assignment for them to go down there. They got out with a win. It was convincing in the end. They came strong in the last 10 minutes. You know, they're not at their best, so they still have a bit to go, but still a dangerous opposition to play, and they will lift their game next week.
They won't lie down. Laois, in fairness, they staged a good rally there in that second half.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness to Laois, they were 5-1 down at half time, and the only score that they had in the first half was Ross Munnelly. In the second half, I think it went 10-5. And there's an excellent score from Ross, and he had a brilliant game. But I think Kingston here, with a point from outside the 45, really kicked off the revival. And you know, that is an excellent score. Here's another one from young Conway. He didn't start the game, but he was brought on. And at this stage, I think there was 2 points in the game, and they had 2 chances. This is one from Darren Strong. You know, that would have been to bring it to within a point of Donegal. And then the second one, more of a kind of, I don't know, was it a pass or a shot, but it was an opportunity, and they're the ones that you need to be taking when you're playing Donegal. The difference is, you know, we look at it, Meriden, the full forward line of Meriden, Kingston and O'Carroll, you know, they scored 3 out of Laois's 8 points. If you look at the full forward line from Donegal, McBurty, Murphy and McFadden, they scored 11 out of the 14 points, and that's the difference, you know.
Now, another interesting element after the game yesterday was Donegal manager Jim McGuinness had very strong things to say about his players being targeted in some of the games. Let's hear what he said.
I wouldn't be happy about the fact that one of my players ended up with a busted eardrum, that they were knocked unconscious, and that they had a 5 centimetre, not millimetre, centimetre hole in their quad as a result of an impact. So that has been tough. He should have been playing with us tonight. He wasn't playing with us tonight. It's very, very difficult, you know. It's our 4th concussion in 3 games in the championship. So there's a lot of stuff going on there, I suppose, from our own point of view, you know, that we would like, I suppose, looked at. And hopefully in the coming days it might be.
A little bit of an incident on the sideline between the 2 management teams. Would you make any comment about that?
Well, the incident came from the fact that Michael Murphy was 3rd man tackled out of the game. Something similar to what happened to Mark McHugh last week. So this is a common theme at the moment. You know, what do? Do you stand there and watch it, or do you try to bring it attention to the linesman? As management, you've got a duty of care to your own players, you know. And my biggest fear, to be honest with you, is that there's going to be a serious injury to one of our players. That's my biggest fear. Not one in an illusion, but the fact that maybe there's going to be a spinal cord injury or a neck injury. And I think that's a very real possibility, the way players have been targeted coming up the field at the moment. And it's something that I would really like to see eradicated out of the game. And if it's not, we have a very dangerous situation.
Big statement there from Jim McGuinness, Kieran. It probably goes back to what we were talking about earlier about cynicism. And in football now, at all grades, players do seem to be getting blocked more and more. And
I suppose nobody likes to see anybody pick up a serious injury, and you'd wish Mark McHugh a recovery, quick recovery. But I suppose we're moving into silly season now, you know, in terms of the quarterfinals, semi-finals. There will be a lot of stuff in the media. I think that was quite measured in terms of getting that bit of PR out there, that maybe some of the key players are being targeted. So I think football is a tough game, you know. Last week, that clash, I think both guys were going for the ball. Many times you've been in a dressing room where the manager said, if the ball's there, you take ball, man, everything, you go for it, you die on that ball. That's what managers want you to do. Accidents, unfortunately, do happen. Serious injuries do happen. Donegal were very good at maybe stopping the key strengths of Cork and Kerry last year when they were on their way to All-Ireland success and have been great All-Ireland champions. And I think that's something that comes with the 30 All-Ireland champions. You have to prepare that you're in the shop window, everybody knows your strengths, you're analysed with great detail, and that's what's happened in Donegal. And a few teams have asked a lot of questions of them over the last few weeks, and I think that's where that's coming from.
But Dermot, with other teams dropping 2 men back, it leaves Donegal fellas free. I mean, do you feel there's a danger of serious injury with fellas being taken out, no?
No, I think, look, it's part and parcel of GAA here. I mean, a lot of teams are doing a lot of strength work in the gym in order to stop these runners from running forward. That is the way the game is.
That's spoiling the game, though, killing the game. Maybe.
Probably, in a way, it is spoiling the game, but that's the game. That's the game we play, and that's unfortunately. And Donegal could say
is the game better for it?
They had wrote that template, I'd say, you know, and they could argue
the
that
game's not better for it. The success over the last few years has been based around a defensive template. That's the reality. Dublin in 2011, Donegal last year, now Monaghan have broken through in Ulster, all based around a defensive game, stopping runners, stopping the key strengths, getting guys out of the game. You saw Colin Cooper came out there a couple of weeks ago saying, you know, he would never have survived if he was coming into the game now in full forward line because you don't get the space. The game has changed and has evolved.
Look, the game that we want to see, you know, it is that Cork and Galway game. You know, they're the type of games we want to see. But as you said, unfortunately, that's not the template everybody plays.
Croke Park next week will be interesting, certainly. Well, for all you youngsters who stayed up in Cavan, the opening game at Croke Park yesterday saw London have to turn it around after their Connacht final defeat against that resurgent